Hello everyone. Just like 4 hours ago came out the Unreal Engine 5.6 tech demo, and they're showing off The Witcher 4. Yes, this has nothing to do with Stalker. But what has to do with Stalker is Unreal Engine, because Stalker 2 runs on Unreal Engine, but not on 5.6. It's on 5.1, and it doesn't have all those settings, options, and graphics settings, which are offered for developers to work with and optimize Stalker 2 right now, and the way the game was made on. What they find about Unreal 5.6 is like the new stuff it has to offer, like the graphics, everything, like options, optimizations, new technology or techniques. Like even the comments are kind of crazy. Like this one comment here is like just very interesting. Love how a good chunk of the presentation is just Unreal saying, don't worry, this one will actually be optimized. Because that's what they pretty much are saying for over like half of the video. Which is just insane. Mind-blowing for Witcher. Holy... Not Witcher. Mind-blowing for Stalker 2. And I think GC will greatly benefit from updating Stalker from 5.1 to 5.6. Yes, it is not an easy task to do with just like snap with the fingers. No, it was never. I'm not a game dev myself. I don't know, is it easy? Is it not? I have no goddamn idea. But if they do this in the future, which I have heard, and I was said by Mode one time, I'm not sure. I cannot remember when he said it or where he said it, but that's what I've also been told by others, that they think there may be plans of them upgrading Stalker's Unreal Engine from 5.1 to 5.6 or other versions, since the new versions are much more polished, much more optimized, and run much better than Unreal Engine 5.1, which is the very early versions of Unreal Engine 5, which Stalker 2 is most known about its performance issues due to optimization. And I think right now most people, they care about optimization than A-Life and gameplay. Even I, yes, I have now kind of top of the line PC. Like, I can show you here in my classic Nvidia. Like, even I have like a kind of a top of the line PC, like one of the world's current best gaming CPU, the 9800 X2D, and I'm pairing it with a 5070 Ti, which is like the newest Nvidia GPU. And it's not like top of the line GPU, but it's like from mid range to top of the line, like high end. And it's going more towards the high end, since the 5070 Ti is very similar to the 4080, like in a way. And it has better frame gen and DLSS 4 and newer like tech, which is only exclusive for the 5000 series, which the others do not have. Anyway, let me show you what Unreal Engine 5.6 has to offer.
Hey everyone, great to be here in Orlando. I spent a lot of time on this demo, so I'm happy to be the one to talk about what went into the 5.6 release. An open world like that was just the perfect content to focus on our main goal for the release, which was performance. We want the engine to scale.
Let me just say, performance,
graphics quality, and of course, we want to deliver high frame rates that you and your players expect. So let's check it out, starting with rendering. If you all remember, when we released Nanite with UE5, it supported static geometry. Last year, we brought skinning to nanite. And now, we're working on nanite foliage. The only way to have a forest that looks as good as this one is to use 3D geometry for all parts of the trees, just like we do for everything else. However, this is a crazy amount of fine geometry, so we had to rethink how trees are created and displayed. To create them, we developed nanite assemblies. These 28 little parts that you see are all that we use to build all the spruces from the forest. They are instanced thousands of times and used like building blocks to assemble trees in different ways. And as you probably noticed with the wind effect, they even support skeletal animation, which runs on the GPU. Thanks to assembly, we greatly reduce the storage, the runtime memory, and the rendering cost. Then, to display an entire forest, the challenge was to preserve fidelity and performance from any distance. Let's check up close the level of detail we're talking about here. Lots of details. But this triangle representation is not the most efficient when far away, due to the amount of overlapping. And that's why we made an adaptive voxel representation. But in reality, you'll never see those voxels this close, since when we move the camera back, they're barely a pixel. Nanite foliage is almost done. We are moving it to the mainline as we speak, and it will be available for everyone in 5.7. Another thing I would like to share is that ray tracing and Lumen now run more than twice as fast, with no visual trade-off compared to when UE5 was released. And because of that, we can now hit 60 FPS on consoles. And finally, we rewrote the rendering pipeline to run asynchronously.
Let me rewind back. 60 FPS on a damn console, which is similar to performance to a 3060, 3070 and 5600 CPU like from AMD, like a entry level to mid-range PC with this type of graphics, ray tracing on. Insanity. Cinema, man.
And finally, we rewrote the rendering pipeline to run asynchronously so you can increase the richness of your scenes even more. Now let's talk about chaos physics. For chaos cloth, we improve our cloth-to-cloth constraint solution. This removes a lot of collision evaluation when garments are piled.
This is for The Witcher 4. I have not seen this technique being very interesting or valuable or like innate to be utilized in S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2, so I'm gonna go ahead and skip that one. Here is like if there is water simulation in S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2, like on some parts, like I have not still played S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2 to the end, so I cannot tell, but basically they also optimize the water, which is crazy.
Lightweight assets to be played back at low cost. This is going to give you high fidelity water without the performance cost of real-time fluid simulation. For animation, we work on both performance and fidelity. Here, you can see how Siri and Kelpie match up in their interaction. Well, that works no matter the angle of approach. That's our Modes character motion matching solution.
I'm gonna skip this too.
Already integrated into our new Unreal animation framework, all the saddlebags. And now, I'm happy to announce that all these features are already integrated into our new Unreal animation framework, which we are releasing as experimental in 5.6. We built it with performance first in mind. Animation evaluation are now running in parallel off the game thread, which was our bottleneck. And for the other character systems that are just as costly, like movement, avoidance, state tree behaviors, we also move them to worker threads. This is really going to help you create scenes that are crowded and lively. Streaming has always been a big deal regarding performance. And the three biggest improvements we made are physics state creation, which now runs async, improve runtime PCG for ground scatter on GPU, and a new FastGeo plugin to stream static geometry. And just to take a different example, in CitySample, the streaming time was cut down by 90% while moving at high speed. We focus on a lot of areas for performance in 5.6, and mobile is no exception.
This is not for S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2, since it's like meant on mobile, like phones, tablets, etc. Basically, that's it. Basically, simply said, like a tree is made up of all of those little assets over there. And they've optimized it that it is much more friendly on the system to render. Like, also it's more storage efficient, and the runtime has been optimized tremendously. And also the LOD distance on the foliage overall, like meant with grass and like the trees, they're also a type of foliage. Like the level of distance, like how much far away is like the tree from you, the player, and at the distance it should be lowered at a much lower quality, so it's much more friendly on the system instead of being in such high quality at very far away distance, leading to a heavy performance hit on your PC. And this right here is the revolutionary tech. Like, you're at very far distance, and this is what it looks like. Like, the more farther you get away, in like this is the most farthest. This is then when you're getting a bit closer and closer. It's getting much higher and much higher quality. This is gonna help very much with S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2's optimization on foliage, trees, etc. overall. The next stuff they covered is like ray tracing and path tracing, lightning. Like, it's 2 times faster now, and it runs more better and efficiently, and can look better, and supports, and it can run asynchronously, which can make like lighting things seem much better than usual, which is huge, and S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2 can benefit from. Like, this stuff is so big that a damn console with this type of fidelity and this type of scenery like forests runs on ray tracing 60 FPS, as I mentioned before. Next, this is not for us. Here is the water. Like, they also optimized the water. I'm not sure how they did it. I don't understand the concept entirely, since I'm not developer, but this is gonna be great also for S.T.A.L.K.E.R, since there are many lakes and rivers, and if the water is not just like a still water and it's flowing, this will greatly help with the optimization. Next, it's like the NPCs. There's so many NPCs to be seen, so many moving 3D rendered animations, and this all runs again very stable and very well with their new what did they call it, Unreal Engine animation framework, which they updated, which is huge. And then they made it so that everything loads much faster and it's loading at a much better rate, like streaming, like reading off your SSD, so it's not like popping up that easily. Like, everything here in this city at moving faster speeds, cruising, it's like loading stuff up to 90% faster, which is huge. Like, you cannot notice that much differences at all, like as you're moving, how stuff is still loading in, like textures, reflections, NPCs, cars, this, that, like, it's so much more, way efficient. And now, this all can be hugely beneficial to S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2. And its optimization, so that it's much more better accessible to all types of players, since not everybody has top-of-the-line PCs. Like, I think GSC should personally focus on optimization. The most important thing, instead of fixing gameplay. Yes, they can fix bugs reported, which bugs also can cause performance like hit, also can break optimization. But like fixing A-Life, they should put that back for now and focus on fixing bugs and making the game run better. And mostly, it's not that easy. Like, I've talked with other people to update like the engine just from 5.1 to 5.6. It's not just like with a snap of the finger that easy. So what currently looks like the future for S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2 is, they optimize right now what they can. They fix most of the bugs that are known and can be seen. And when there are much more little bugs, then, like, I really believe and expect that they will switch over to Unreal Engine 5.6, unless 5.7 has until then come, with many new more techniques and settings, optimizations to it added, and etc. And then GSC will be able to focus on optimizing and making the game run much more better. That's all I have to talk for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you look forward to this. I also look forward to this very much, because this is huge with Unreal Engine 5.6 the way it goes. Yeah, I am excited so fucking much. See you around, guys, and see you next time.